If you have ever found yourself thinking, I want to be a nurse or a nurse practitioner or anything in this world, but I'm not sure I can do it, this video is for you. It's going to be a mixture of a pep talk and tough love. And hopefully you'll leave feeling a little bit more encouraged and empowered. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Liz. I'm a family nurse practitioner. Years ago, I was a med-surg nurse and a pediatric nurse, and I too have sat there at the beginning of this process thinking, I do not know if I can do that. So if that's you too, welcome, I see you. So this question, I wanna do this, but I'm not sure if I can, is by far the most common question that I get on this platform. So I thought this would be a great video to do in my break room chat series. That's why we're in a little bit of a different venue. It's a little bit less edited than maybe my normal videos, but the windows are open. I will warn you because it just brings me joy that I can open my windows in August. It's a really rainy day, so you might hear some cars and birds and my child downstairs playing with my husband, but break room chats are more of like casual videos where we talk about things that people don't always talk about or a little bit like taboo. They're more relaxed, so that's why we're changing the location and just kind of, we're just gonna chat. All right, pep talk time. I don't know why I'm being a cheerleader, but here we go. First, we'll have the encouragement, and then we'll do tough Liz later. So first, you're probably a little bit worried. Is this task that I'm looking at hard? Hearing scary horror stories, honestly, is what made me put off going to nursing school in the first place years ago. I would have saved a lot of time and money had I just gone to nursing school, but I heard it's too hard, and I let those voices in my head of saying, it's too hard, you're not smart enough, you're really not like the best student, you're not good at math, like, I don't think you're gonna make it. I let those completely take over, and all it did is it just delayed the path that I was gonna end up on later unnecessarily because I let fear take over. So step number one is just try to quiet all those little voices in your head, or at least just like acknowledge them, shush them, maybe write them down so that you acknowledge it, because don't just push away, like, acknowledge that they're there, write them down, put them somewhere. Sometimes when you even look at those on paper, when you're reading it, you're like, ooh, would I talk to anyone I love that way? No, probably not. And that really can help you wrap your mind around it and be like, oh, you read it and you get defensive, like, I'm not smart enough, I'm not this. And you naturally get defensive because that's a rude way to talk to someone, even though we talk about ourselves that way all the time. So just write them down and like leave them there. Just let them sit on that paper where they're being really rude for a moment to kind of clear your head. And then kind of look at it and say, okay, now what am I worried about? Are you worried that it's going to be hard? Because I will give you a spoiler. Most really cool, awesome things in life, they're going to be hard. Sometimes they're unnecessarily hard. Read a lot of nursing school. Sometimes they're just hard because there's a lot to learn and you have to become a different person in order to fulfill that role. That's fine too. But a lot of this, like, is it going to be hard? Yes. Yes, a lot of this is probably going to be hard, whatever it is you're looking at it. But is it going to be worth it? I mean, only you get to decide that. But the bigger point I want to take away here, my random hand motions, is you can do hard things, okay? Just because something is hard doesn't mean that you can't do it. I hear this all the time. Oh my gosh, I've heard it's so hard. I've heard nursing school is hard. Like, I've heard NP school is hard. I have all this other stuff going on, and I'm worried that it's going to be hard. And to those people, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be hard, but like, you can do hard things. You've already done hard things. Now make a different list maybe and list all the different hard things you've had to do in life. Have you overcome some health challenges? Have you overcome interesting, challenging family dynamics? Have you graduated from college? Have you learned to drive a car? Have you learned to drive a car? Like, let's just think about how challenging that is. You've learned to, I mean, let's get real basic, like just grow up, survive, and most of you are adults, some of you are becoming adults. You have done so many hard things. So hopefully that list, if you're making it, is just getting like really, really long. I want you to, like, anything you're proud of having ever done, like, really think about it. It's probably gonna be a lot longer than your fear list that you have hiding over in this corner. And just take a minute and look at all the things you've already done. If you need help making this list, because this list isn't quite as long as this one over here, talk to people who you like or you love and just say, like, what have you seen me overcome and what are you proud of me for? And your list will get longer, I promise you. Because other people are really good at telling you what they love seeing in you. And they're probably, most people, well, hopefully, they're not going to tell you things that, to be scared of and reasons you can't do things. So we're going to start to, think of ourselves in ways that we would talk to other people. We're gonna list things we're proud of versus things we're scared of and negative clouds of, this is why you can't do it. And while you're doing this whole exercise, just keep repeating to yourself, I can do hard things, because you, my friend, can do hard things. You've already done it, so you already know. You already know you've done hard things. You can do them again. A side note here in our doing hard things. I am a huge believer in taking bite-sized chunks because yes, you're like, I can do hard things, but how on earth am I going to get there? Because I feel you. A lot of these things are enormously overwhelming, especially if you're sitting at the beginning of, we'll say, like, you know, you want to be a nurse practitioner and you're looking at this whole journey of like, first I have to do my prereqs, then I have to apply to nursing school, and then I have to go to nursing school, graduate, work for a little while if you're doing that, and then apply, do the prereqs, do all, like, it seems like such a long, hard road. Organize your road. You can write that out if you want into just like steps and tackle one step at a time. Don't look ahead. The only time you're going to look ahead is when you're making that entire long roadmap. Whatever your goal is here, steps. Everything is broken down into bite-size steps. That is how I tackled nursing school when I eventually was able to squash all the things in my head saying you can't do it. And I finally got into the mantra of like, I am stubborn and I'm going to embrace you can do hard things. Took a while. I will say it took a while. Bite-sized pieces though, friends. Like I said, I am not like the best student. I'm very distractible. I procrastinate, like my life depends on it. It takes a lot of reviewing something to get a concept really in my brain. I had to take nursing school in tiny bite-sized pieces. That's how you should take this entire process, one step at a time. Don't look at the whole thing because you can do hard things, but you can't do hard things all at once. You can do one hard thing at a time and then move on. And then eventually you're going to look back and you're like, wow, I just did a ton of hard things. Just like when you were learning to drive your car or when you were in college. You didn't take all your college classes at once. You didn't get in a car and immediately end up on the highway going 80 miles an hour. You took baby steps and you focused on one skill at a time until you have the whole thing. So that's all you have to do here is make a master roadmap and do one thing at a time. What can you do today reasonably? I don't want you to make unrealistic lists because that just leads to more self-doubt over in this corner. One thing you can do today. And guess what? Then you get to add that one thing to this list of things I have accomplished, and that's just going to keep growing longer. And the more you keep succeeding in doing things, the more confident you will get. I promise. You will sit there and you will be like, wow, keep the list, friends. Keep the list. Sometimes I honestly I do have a list in my journal of like things that I have done. And on days, I have a video recently talking about imposter syndrome because it is real. On days where I'm just feeling like I can't do anything, I look at that list and I'm like, okay, yes, like I can do things. I write down all the reasons why I feel like I can't and then focus back over here. I feel like we've gotten distracted. And of course, let's swim back and find ourselves. But you can do hard things. I hope you believe that a little bit more. Use those tools to one bite at a time, do the hard thing. And remember, I also have a video for later on down the road when you're in this journey that talks about when you're feeling burnt out. Because one thing I want you to do right now is find your reason for what you want to do and take a picture of it, put it on your desk, whatever it is, whatever memento or thing it is, keep it. Whatever is making you excited and like wanting to do this dream, because in a little while, when this dream gets really hard, you're gonna need something to look back on and say, that is why I wanted to do this. And that's why I'm gonna wanna keep going, because you need to have a good, strong reason why in order to get through the hard things. So I guess that's your second big thing is know you can do hard things, and to know why you're doing the hard thing. Because if you're just doing it because everyone says like, oh, you should do this, in a year or two, when you are like in the middle of the semester and you have all these papers happening and life is happening and it's 1 a.m. and you're trying to study for this stupid test about the different types of cells that are in your cheek, like, and you're just like, I'm just done. You're going to need to have something you can really quick reference and be like, this is my why. And this is why I'm going to keep going. For me, it was a picture of me and my husband on the night that we went and were celebrating that I got into grad school. And I was just that and my acceptance letter. And I remember being so incredibly excited, like just thrilled. And I had written down all the things on the back of the acceptance letter of kind of like what I was looking forward to, because someone also told me to do this. So like, girl, you're gonna get like 2 years in, you're gonna be, I got like 3 months in, maybe not even that far. And I was like, what have I done? But I kept that on my desk. I kept that picture there. And that was every time I was up way too late or just writing a paper and wanted to throw my computer out a window, I was like, this is my why. And I can do one hard thing today to get me closer to that goal. So there we go. There's my positive pep talk. Hopefully makes you feel a little bit better. Now we're going to shift to, what is this? I guess this is the second part of the pep talk. This is when the coach comes out and he's in, I don't do sports, but this is how I imagine sports going, is you're maybe like almost starting to almost lose the game here. And he comes out in the beginning, he's like, yeah, we can do this. And then they come out and the coach, she's like, this, like, you've gotta, I'm gonna scare you into doing better. Is that how sports go? I don't really know. I was in basketball like one time and I kept scoring goals for like the wrong team and then getting distracted and they were just like, please stop. And then I started playing instruments and that seemed to go a lot better. Anyway, we're gonna shift modes into maybe you need a little bit of tough love and that works better for you. Tough love, that's what I was looking for before. Welcome to the tough love section of this video. I feel like I need a different filter or persona for this part of the video. So in case point 1 or 2 didn't really get you feeling like you can tackle this. Point number 3, what are you more scared of? Failing at this task or never trying? Because those are really your options. If you say like, I want to be a nurse, but I'm not sure that I can, very valid. Like nursing school is quite challenging. Working as a nurse is quite challenging. Like you may not make it. Some people do not make it all the way through nursing school. Some people don't make it all the way through med school, dental school, architecture school, any type of school. People don't complete the thing. And that's maybe because they got into it and they realized, oh, this is not what I want to do at all. Exit. Or they got through it and they're like, oh, it's not working with my life right now. Whatever reason that people aren't getting through, like that is okay. First of all, you tried, which we need to all acknowledge and just congratulate. But what are you more scared of? Never, ever even trying? And then having that regret possibly later, or trying and saying like, hey, this might not work out. And if it doesn't, like, at least I tried. I know personally, that's the point I kind of got to where I was like, I don't know why. I just like really wanted to be a nurse. It sounded really interesting. But I was so scared and I was like, I don't want to look bad and fail. Like that'll be embarrassing. And I remember running that through with some of my friends and one of my, like, she's just like the wisest human. You know how you have some of those friends where you were like, are you really like an 85-year-old woman, like tucked into like the wisdom of that 85-year-old woman tucked into a 20-year-old's body? Because goodness gracious. But she sat me and she's like, what are you going to be more embarrassed of though? Like when your kids one day ask you like, what did you want to do with your life? And you're like, I wish I would have done this. And they're like, why didn't you go for it? And you're like, I'm scared. Or saying like, yeah, I tried that and it just didn't work out. And I was like, oh, that's a very valid point. I would be more like embarrassed about the fact that I never just even gave it a go. And so just reflect on that. What makes you more scared? The fear of regretting never trying or going forward. And I really do think there is peace in knowing that you did something and you tried. And if it didn't work out, it didn't work out, but you gave it your all. And I think that would be my last kind of thing with this is just know you can do hard things, take it in bite-sized pieces, know what you're more afraid of, doing or not doing, and giving whatever you're doing, give it all you've got. Like really go all in. One, the experience on the other side, like you are going to just like feel like you know more and you're way more plugged in. But 2, like then you'll really know. You'll be able to sit with yourself at the end of the day if it didn't work out and you'll be like, I gave that everything and it didn't work out. So there must be something else out there for me that's going to work out even better. This was clearly not a good fit because I'm a huge believer that whatever is going to, whatever is supposed to work out, that it will. So if you know in your heart that like I did everything possible, that doesn't mean you have to do everything once and it's easy. It might be really hard. You might have to retake that dumb anatomy class that's just really, really rough, or like statistics. Holy moly, you might study more than you ever thought possible. Hello, that was me. Like how many hours do I need to study to try to understand this garbage? But I was like, I'm going to give it absolutely everything I have so that if it doesn't work out, I can sit comfortably with myself and say, I gave it everything I had. Now let's go find what I'm actually supposed to do, because obviously this was not it. Where you tried your hardest, there's no regret because you gave it everything you had. Let's find our next path that will work out and will probably be an amazing life fit. And there we go. There's my pep talk / tough love chat for when you are questioning if you can do things. I hope this video gave you a little bit of something to think about. I really do want you to make lists, guys. If you want to write down the limiting thoughts just to get them out of your head, sometimes that's helpful. And then make a list of things you're proud of, guys. And I want you to just keep adding to that list. Put it in your journal, put it wherever. Find something that gives you motivation. Put that right on your desk so you can view it at all times. Take bite-sized pieces, and you, my friend, you can do hard things. Let me know what hard thing you have done down in the comments below to, one, boost your own confidence, because even though it's kind of hard to talk about things we've done in our lives that we're really proud of, sometimes it's helpful to just like get it out there and then you can build on that. And as with all of these break room chat videos, I would love if you just left any comments of things you've overcome, things you're worried about, whatever you feel you want to talk about down in the comments below, because people in these comment sections on these videos in particular, I feel like just gain so much insight from like seeing themselves in others. You know, like that's the whole reason I'm here is I want you to feel like you are not alone in this. Seeing that, I feel like nursing school and all of this, just in general, you can feel like everyone else is so much better than me and no one else has felt like this. So I feel like the comment section here could be helpful if anyone is willing to share and just say like, I've totally felt like this and I did the thing and here's where I am now, whether it worked out as you thought it would or in a surprise new way. You guys just always have so much awesome insight. I'm obviously only one person, so I can only give my experience. And you guys have such great wisdom to share. So go check out the comments below. Go leave a comment about any of this if you feel like you want to share in that way. Check out if you want to see other videos in this break room chat series. I will leave the series linked at the end. If you have any other topics you want to see in this whole series, also leave those down below. I'm always open to suggestions because I like doing these types of videos and I should really do more. Anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful week. You got this, and I'll see you next time.